Hi, folks. I know it's been a while since I put out a video, but recently I've been discussing something on my Facebook group, and I wanted to make a video for it because it's kind of hard to describe, and the way I was describing it was making it sound far more complicated than it really was. I decided instead of just putting it in my group, I'll put it out there to share with everybody because I believe it might help somebody. It certainly was eye opening for me. That's all I'm going to say right now. I'm sure all of you guys know about children's drawing, especially those, everybody was a kid at one point. You've seen a drawing similar to this, where the artist basically drew enough that we will know that we're creating a car here. Okay. And the way we finish it is by connecting the dots. So a child would draw lines from a dot to dot to dot, and then boom, they got a car. Well, what if Forrest did something similar to this with the poem? Now, obviously, in the poem, he couldn't ship us a drawing with wheels and doors. So what he might have done is broke the poem into two different parts, and the first part gives us a basis or a starting point for our drawing. Now, before I get into this, let me explain something here. The word it in the second stanza, of course, is a pronoun. And as a pronoun, it means that it's substituting a noun that was previously described in the text, is about to be described in the text, or it's something that the writer is assuming that you'll know. That's what the pronoun it is for. It's a substitute for the noun. Okay. Now a lot of people always think that it means to chase. And I don't think it does. In any case, nobody really knows. I don't know. But hear me out. I'm going to give you another thing that it may mean. So you've already heard me in the past some other videos which are no longer out there, but I talked about the first stanza is basically a riddle. And the riddle does two things. One, it tells you to refer to the thrill of chase for the hints that we know are in there. Okay, well, the second thing that stands for is obviously to most likely, the most common thing people believe is that it describes the final area. Well, let's say that it was describing something that he is going to have you construct that is going to show or reveal the borders or within the borders of the location of where he went alone with his treasures bolt. Okay. Similar to what the child is doing with this car. So to show this example, I'm going to use a location where obviously we know the chest is not there because this is not even the Rocky Mountains. This is Temple, Texas. This yellow thing. I put it there just to indicate that's where Forrest's house is, right there, that he grew up in. And I'm just going to use an example. This is not a real solve. My clues are not going to solve to locations. So I'm not going to get any into any solutions here. All I'm going to do is describe a theory to you. Okay. Now, pretend that thumbtack is not there. So let's look at the map and let's assume that we went through the trail of the chase. We found all the hints. We found out the true meanings of all of the 9 clues. And now we're sitting here looking at a map and we're ready to use those descriptions to find our place. Let's say that I'm going to start up here because this is where Troy, Texas is. And Troy, of course, is very intelligent, very cool. And he's humble. So let's just say, for the hell of it, that I've done all that research and I found out where Warmwater's Halt is right here. Right here. Okay. So I'm going to begin it. I'm going to begin it where Warmwater's Halt, and I'm going to take it in the canyon down. Okay. So let's say that the canyon down, I don't know, is right here. Okay. So I begin it where Warmwater's Halt, I took it in the canyon down. Now, I released the mouse there. That line is drawn. We're done there. And the reason why we're done there is because Forrest, we're going to assume that it is something we're constructing. And Forrest has said, begin it and take it. He doesn't use the word it anymore in that stanza. The next thing he tells us to do is put in below the home brown. So just for now, let's just say, well, man, yeah, I don't know where the home of Brown is. Whatever. Maybe the rest of the poem will give us a hint as to where the home of Brown is. Because, interesting enough, he uses the word it again in the third stanza. Okay, he says, from there, it's no place for the meek. Let's say that you've done a lot of research and you know the place for the meek is here. So from there, it's no place for the meek. And where's the next one? The end is ever drawing nigh. Well, let's just say that that's right over here. So we got that. Okay, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek. Okay, let's say that your no paddle up your creek works out to be, I don't know, right here. Just heavy loads and water high. Takes you right there. Right. Now again, pretend that thumbtack isn't there. Now keep in mind what just happened here. Okay, this up here is where warm water salt. Okay. This is the canyon down. Okay. And it just really doesn't matter. Warm water salt could be here and the canyon down here. I'm just giving you an example. We began it where warm water salt, we took it to the canyon down. Now he told us to stop, put in below the home of Brown. To me, that means to stop what you're doing, take your pen off the paper, go below the home of Brown, and then from there we're gonna find all these 4 clues that are in the third stanza. So that's clue number 1. That's clue number 2. Okay. Here's 3. Okay. Here's 4. Okay. Here's 5. Actually, 5 was down here. 6. Okay. And then this would be clue number 7 in the middle, right? Now, remember, there's commas here. So we go, from it's no place further me, comma. The end is ever drawing nigh. Semicolon is in the middle. And it says, there'll be no paddle up your creek. Just comma, just heavy loads and water high, period. All right. So if you look at the way these clues broke out, it's like 3 to 4 and 5 to 6. That semicolon would be somewhere in the middle here. Okay. Now think about the semicolon. It's kind of a blaze in the poem. It only exists in one place. Okay. We don't have an X in the poem. We have plenty of periods. We have commas. We have question mark. We have spaces. We have, letters. But we don't have a semicolon. The semicolon is not something that people usually use. So what if the semicolon is a blaze? Now, everybody always says, well, how would you get confidence? Does the poem have any way to confirm that you were in the right place? Well, let's look at this. Look at this closely here again. If you did this with your solution, and I'm not saying it has to be an asterisk, it could be a box. I don't know what it is that he has you draw. I'm not going to get into specifics, but he has you create something, in my opinion. And what if, when you created that, now keep in mind, if any of these points are wrong, this X will not, not X, this asterisk will not cross over that precise spot on the initial line he had you drill. Okay, if these two were on the wrong side of the line, it wouldn't cross at all. If they were wrong, it might cross up here, or you might get crosses in multiple places. But what are the chances that they would all cross in one exact spot right here? Okay, which again, just as an example, this happens to be Forrest's house. And I'm not searching in Texas. And again, I chose this on purpose. I didn't want to do this over the Rockies in New Mexico or Colorado or Wyoming or Montana. But essentially, that's what you would do. You would go over wherever your search area happens to be and try to find out where the clues are. And you connect them all up like a child would connect the dots. And you tell me you wouldn't be blown away if the semicolon in the poem where all four of these clues caused an intersection where all the points converged on your initial path. And then you looked in here, and all of a sudden the home of Brown made sense. And the rest of the clues made sense. And when you look out from this area, no place for the meek, the end is ever drawing nigh, no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high, are all coming out of this central area. Now you can see here how easily somebody could get clue number one and clue number two correct and go right past the chest to not know it. Because in my opinion, and in my solve, this point is something that you would probably walk by and think nothing of it. Now, I'm not saying there isn't anything there. Let's say there's a pull out here, a pull off or something, and there's a plaque, and the plaque tells you something about this site, or let's say for those of you searching in Yellowstone, it's a plaque in Yellowstone and it's describing, Mammoth Hot Springs. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the point is, the people who were close, he said they knew this and they knew this. And then they told him about this place. And he said, but when they told him about this place, it was obvious that they were there, in his mind, probably as a tourist, because they clearly did not understand the significance. And the reason why I think Forrest did it like this is because it's impossible to locate this point without simultaneously solving all of the clues that lead you there. And I think that was fully intentional. And people right away are reading the poem and the clues, they are contiguous. But that doesn't mean that the points on the map are contiguous. That doesn't mean that the points on the map are meant to be followed in a stepwise fashion. So somebody could sit here all day long going from warm water salt to the canyon down and then walking to all of these clues, and they're going to be going in circles forever. Okay? And those people, at least the ones that got this clue and this clue correct, have went right past the chest within 200 to 500 feet. Okay? So again, I'm just putting it out. This is the big picture, right? Forrest said he was an architect. He felt like an architect making the poem. Well, an architect creates blueprints. What do blueprints do? They're used by somebody to construct something. So how do you know that the first stanza is not telling you that you're going to construct the bounds of an area and he's going to have you build the blaze? Can this blaze be moved? Sure it can, but it's not practical to do so. And if it is wrong, it's wrong because your clues are wrong. If you get any one of these wrong, the whole thing is wrong. Okay? Nobody's going to move this. Now, the blaze on the ground, sure, I guess you could consider a pullout a blaze. But when you go to the pullout, you're going to look at it like any other pullout. You could stand there all day and look, there's not going to be an FF. There's not going to be a running man. There's not going to be anything like that on that blaze. Okay? There's not going to be anything because people will be able to shortcut it. Let's go warm water salt. There's Jess. And the other thing, he said that if I told you where the home Brown is, you'd walk right through the chest. So everybody's worried about looking for the home of Brown, brown trout, brown fishing guides, brown. Forget about it. Forget about it. You have to solve all the poem, all of the clues in the poem. But first of all, you don't even know that that's a clue. You don't know that that line is a clue. He could just be giving a personal name to that area that'll only make sense that somebody who's gone through this whole process is going to understand. Okay? But this is a confidence builder. This is how the poem can sort of give you a confirmation. And I haven't had many people, discuss this. I haven't seen anybody discuss this as a confirmation, or this is a reason why somebody could have walked from clue 1 to clue 2. And anyway, this worked for me. I came up with a solution in January, and I told Forrest about it, precisely about it. He didn't see this drawing because this is not the exact drawing. I'm not even going to get into what it really is because I'm not going to tell you my solve, but he knows where all these places are. He knows exactly where I'm going here. why I'm going there, how I solved the poem, how I arrived at this point. He knows about the semicolon working out to the location. He knew everything. I told him that on February 8th. Why don't I have the chest? Because it was like 5 feet, 6 feet of snow. I couldn't go get it at that time. I'm still waiting for my chance or my partner to be able to go, and hopefully it's not going to be that long from now. And then I will have an answer as to whether or not I'm correct. I don't know. But meanwhile, what I'm doing is putting this out there for other searchers. If it helps you, that's cool. Hey, toss me something, whatever, donate. I need $10,000 right now. Send it to my PayPal. I need to go buy a car, and I'm going to have a telethon. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, I hope this helps somebody. And please don't, if you're going to take an idea from somebody and do a video about it, at least give that person some kind of credit. Because otherwise you come off across as an asshole. And I hate assholes. So anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry I haven't been out with a video in a while, but I like to come out with new things and things that nobody else really talks about. I'm not going to sit, here and rattle off, where does warm water haul? Because nobody wants to hear the same old crap anymore. So honestly. So anyway, have a good day. Be cool. Peace.